to do so or not. He's going to fly in right now with speed. Really going to give him a huge advantage. Going to be able to run by right. Do get spotted by an observer. There are a couple of Dragoons there. One scarab going off. One hitting a cannon. One melting a bunch of Dragoons. Zealots also moving in towards the pole line. But Bisu, of course, pulling his probe off the line just in time. Now moving in with forces downwards. But there are Reavers there. And JangBi moves back. Just no real damage. Just left a single Dragoon on the field. And, oh my god! Bisu actually has a Dark Temple. What's he doing? Possibly waiting for the probe to run by, but the probe is mined at the middle, so Bisu actually has an open field to run by. Possibly thinking it's a little bit unsafe to run into the natural. There are, of course, a lot of observers there. Okay, the forge is up for JangBi, also getting his Temple Archives. We're going to see what he does with that. Just Bisu actually is investing. Okay, there you go, all the High Templars I thought, but he did invest in the Dark Temple just to run out, try to do some damage. Has taken down his upper right-hand base, while JangBi still not taking out his lower left-hand. Bisu has taken out the probe that was thinking of putting down that base. Probably just waited until JangBi put that base up so that he could force him to cancel. I'm not quite sure if that's exactly what happened. He might have just got impatient and, hey, okay, JangBi's not putting this base up, better just kill this probe and get it over with. Although, of course, making a player cancel something is a very good move. Oh, the Temper is going to get caught, though. Not going to be able to... Should have run him by. Plus to do some sort of damage. I'm going to see the first-person view of Bisu here, just putting a lot of probes at the upper left-hand, actually, just mine out those minerals so he can ferry troops easily. Still getting ready for the shuttles, knows that the shuttles are on the way, is putting Dragoons into position, has a lot of Zealots running down the field, and instantly spots the shuttle, does spot that JangBi has a few forces down on the ground as well. Bisu actually interesting. One of the players that does not change his colors to teal. Actually, JangBi now has dropped 3 Reavers inside of his main. He is reacting, still moving his army around. Still has his Dragoons trying to defend himself. Also with his observer down the field. Doesn't really have much in the way of forces, but moving a lot of Zealots now, taking some Reaver shots. Going to move in, try to surround, taking Reaver shots, and not doing too much really. A little bit dangerous. Going to start putting down cannons in more decent places. Now going to try to take some hold one bridge as JangBi tried to push him. They're not going to be too successful. They're going to take on the third guess. Now we can see the first person view of JangBi. Also a player that does not bother to change his color to teal, so that his opponent is red. I know that some players don't change unless the colors are very much alike, and they're playing a matchup where they got to tell the difference on the minimap. But some players just naturally start playing a game and, hey, I'm teal, he's red. That's the way it is. Bisu just adding in gateways, adding in cannons so he can defend his main better. Just he knows that it's a constant danger, and if the Reavers of JangBi have their way, Bisu is going to be horribly economically behind. But he has a large force of Zealots and Dragoons. JangBi's a little bit more Dragoon heavy, but there are Archons on the field as well, so it's all going to come down to one huge battle. Who does more damage to who? Their forces are now nearing each other very closely, nearing the middle. And it's all going to come down to Bisu does have Weapons 1, Weapons O, what the hell am I talking about? JangBi has no weapons upgrades as far as I can tell. Now it's going to be an engagement. Bisu actually moving with a lot of Zealots first hand, has fewer Reavers, but trying to engage as well as he can. Storms coming off as well, catching some shuttles. Bisu still has Reavers on the floor. JangBi still has some of his micro-wing shuttles, losing one of his shuttles with only one Reaver inside though. Still has a larger goon line. Bisu moving in to reinforce, still has both of his Reavers trying to move in very close, pushing JangBi back. JangBi has more blood on the ground, is going to be forced back. Bisu morphing in his Archons, taking out the Archons that JangBi had in the field, takes the high ground, has the 2 Reavers inside. JangBi now trying to inch in close, gets one Scarab off, catching a lot of Dragoons, going to force Bisu to move to a different position, and now JangBi is actually going to move in with his Dragoons, trying to take potshot, takes the shuttle down! I think he took the shuttle, oh, that is critical. Bisu now going to move towards the lower left-hand base. There's a Reaver alongside a cannon there to defend. The Reaver is heavily damaged. Actually though, because there was from the other shuttle, and you're going to try to defend this, but honestly Bisu should be able to take this down. He doesn't actually have a lot of force. Never mind what I just said, has an Archon there that's not melting as many probes as it should be, but JangBi now moving into reinforce. Okay, JangBi has lost a lot of force, but Bisu moving with so many reinforcements. Zealots is just Speed Zeals running in all over the place alongside the Templars. Of course, Speed Zeals can reinforce pretty fast across the map, not as fast maybe as you would want, but they're running around trying to do some damage. Are being splashed very heavily with that Reaver as well as that Archon. So Bisu most likely going to get it cleaned up. Some more Zealots getting caught up in some actions. Dragoons and High Templar and more on the way. Not that much in the way of forces for JangBi, so he's going to have to hold this off with very little. Bisu still has a Archon there as well. And Bisu actually going to take the 12 o'clock base, the 11 to 12 o'clock, call it what you want. High Templar, they're actually going to get caught, going to get some storms off against Dragoons, but are going to get caught, going to start morphing into an Archon, but most likely going to get killed. Bisu still has forces the low left hand, start attacking. 2 Reavers there for JangBi, losing one in danger. Has to be very careful not to lose those shuttles. Bisu just moving very strongly to his position. JangBi finally has reinforcement moving in, a couple of Dragoons alongside several Zealots. Bisu has fewer forces, but he does have weapons too at this point, so his forces really do a lot of damage. JangBi, I'm not quite sure if he has upgrades yet or not. Maybe we'll show one of his forces right now. No, okay, maybe not. As his shuttle running all over the place, can try to do some harassment. Has a pylon at the upper left at the 12 o'clock location, so he knows what's going on. They're actually going to get his Reaver in there. Oh, catches only one single probe. Bisu with superior reactions. 3 cannons down. That Reaver's not going to be able to do too much more. Tried to do some economic harassment, but Bisu mining from 3 bases, still has his main active, and has done a lot of harassment at the lower left hand. So JangBi's third has been severely compromised. It still holds, but barely alive. Bisu now again going to move in to engage JangBi with a lot of Zealots and an Archon, and just one single Reaver to support in that shuttle. Bisu very heavy on the High Templars. 4 High Templars, so they're going to run in first, going to try to get some storms off, going to try to wait until JangBi's forces collect themselves. JangBi now getting some more Reavers for himself. We're really going to need those to help him defend against those. Going to take 1 Zealot out of Bisu's that ran a little bit too far forward. A couple of Zealots just running in, trying to get in the scout. The Templar still on the field for Bisu, 2 of them in fact. A lot of High Templar alongside the Templar, so Bisu has a very colorful army, I gotta say. Now going to move towards the 12 o'clock. Still reinforcing with a lot of cannons. Knows they has to defend it. Some forces of JangBi is going to move in to engage 1 single Scarab. Going to get, oh yeah, just dud. Flying around, not doing too much. Yeah, from what I've read up, the Scarab used to be a much more deadly thing until when, Observer getting it down there. But the Scarab used to be a much more deadly thing until it was changed with a patch. But that's not important right now because the engine coming all over the place. Storms coming up from Bisu. 2 storms catching both Reavers. One of the Reaver goes down to the storm. The other one gets heavily damaged, but Bisu doesn't have that many forces. I think JangBi will be able to take this engagement, but the Archon and the Reaver destroy each other on the ground. But Bisu so far ahead, taking the upper left hand, so he's going to be on 5 bases. JangBi still crippling on kind of 2 3/4. Probably still hasn't fully established, losing his shuttle with the Reaver inside at this point. JangBi, you can see the look on his face. He's losing it. He's in a horrible position here, and just might the runner-up of the last 2 MSLs might not be getting into the finals again. Oh man, sad day. JangBi 2 times in a row. Last 2 MSLs got into the finals twice, lost twice. Same story as Fantasy in the OSL, a little bit of trivia. Fantasy in the OSL, last time and the time before that got into the finals twice, lost twice to Stork and JangBi respectively. Observer running around the field. JangBi going to try to do some harassment, going to start attacking this 12 o'clock with a rather small contingent of forces. Not going to be able to do too much. There are cannons, start delaying, probes surrounding it, try to do something, but far too few forces. Bisu running in with a huge mass of warriors running in to destroy whatever's left of JangBi's army, and I think after this JangBi's going to be forced to GG's, trying to kill as many of these probes as he can, trying to engage some forces on the ground with his Archon, with his Dragoons trying to micro them away, but Bisu has so many forces down on the ground. Losing this 1 single base is not going to affect him so much. He didn't even lose the Nexus, still has several probes mining. Bisu now moving in close. JangBi going to start retreating, only has 3 Dragoons left. He's not gonna have space to retrieve until the end. Runs right into a cannon and GG's. So Bisu is gonna be the one to move out into the round of 16. Yeah, the winner of the Club Day MSL beats the Club Day MSL runner-up. And I gotta say, some people think that Bisu and JangBi have a rivalry running up, but honestly, it's just a history of JangBi doing very well up until he faces Bisu. Just look at it. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. In the Club Day, JangBi got to the finals, lost. He got to the Telecom T1 finals, lost against Bisu, and he's losing against Bisu a lot. Stork and Bisu are actually a lot bigger rivalry. I just think JangBi has a problem. I think he has a little bit of a problem with pressure. I think that's his problem. He definitely has the skills to get a title. He definitely has what it takes, but just not there yet. And honestly, when it comes to OSL, just for trivia purposes, not going to do too much. And we're going to, if I'm not mistaken by the faces I see down there, we're going to have Fantasy against Bisu in the round of 16. Oh my freaking god, that is awesome. Two teammates duking it out. And I'm a little bit sad, though, because this is a matchup you really want a long series for. I want 5 games, not 3 games in the round of 16 between these two guys, but what are you going to do? I honestly want Fantasy and Bisu both to really move on. We're going to see, though, if Fantasy manages to repeat his performance against Bisu in the Batsu OSL, where he beat Bisu in the semifinals and ruined for everybody what everybody wanted at Bisu versus Jaedong final. Although I got to say the Fantasy versus Jaedong final was awesome. So yeah, Bisu moves on, JangBi is out. And that is it for today. GG guys, wrenching out. Thanks for listening.